consideration of making a change, because I think you probably saw John warming up. He came in some of his packages in one of the early drives, and there was a couple things that we saw that were there that potentially could have happened later in the game. And so I think that was just him on his own, just working on getting the ball out of his hand and feeling good about it. I'll say this. Sean has been our leader. He's been our quarterback that over the last 6 games or so has performed very well. I mean, it's obvious going into the game, he was leading our league in 3 or 4 major statistical categories. And so we felt, just like he did in the second half last week when he had to come in against Vanderbilt, that he gave us the best chance to win. And when you're in a tight game, we were ahead 7-0 for a good part of it, in a one-score game throughout. There was no indication that he was limited to the point that he couldn't give us the best chance to win.
But when you can't get a first down, and the drives were multiple drives in a row where Rome would carry on twice, pass from Sean on third down,
right.
No first down, that's happening. And you felt you could win the game last week in the first half with John at quarterback, and you felt you needed a spark against Texas A&M and put John in. Why was a spark not needed in either John or Jeremy late?
Well, because I think it's pretty obvious that we're at a different point now than we were when we played Texas A&M. That was early in the year. I guess at the time we were 1-1, about to be 1-2, and things were different. When you've gone on a 6-game winning streak and your offense has become the #1 offense in the league at that point, behind a quarterback who's playing arguably as good as anybody in the league, you're going to go with your guy. The New England Patriots aren't going to bench Tom Brady if he goes 0 for 7 on third downs and a half. And so, again, Sean is our starter. He deserves a lot of credit, one, for us getting to where we are, but also his toughness to get here. And that's not to say we don't have confidence in John and Jeremy. It's just not a lot of people are going to just all of a sudden make that change because things aren't going well. I need to take more of the blame than he does or anyone else, because the third downs in the second half, I got to give our guys better opportunities. I got to give them better plays. So I'm disappointed in our performance. We did not play well. We obviously did not make plays at all on third down in the second half. And we didn't do the things, we didn't have the balance we need. You give credit to Georgia, they deserve a lot of it. But at the end of the day, we beat ourselves in a lot of areas. But I don't think it has anything to do with who was playing quarterback.
Considering how well Kentucky did in the Wildcat the week prior, and then you guys in the Wildcat on a touchdown drive, was there any consideration to utilize it more, especially with the 3 guys in at time?
Definitely something I'd like to have done more in the second half, looking back on it. Again, carry on, you can see he's out there on one leg. Chandler got banged up during the game. That had a little bit to do with it. But, yeah, wish I'd have gone to that more in the second half.
Was there a point in the second half you're thinking about bringing it back up? When was that?
It was always on the mind, just didn't get done because, again, a big part of what we do is getting a first down. And we never got that first down. I know we put KJ in there and direct snapped a couple to him. But, again, we had – after that first drive, we had 6 opportunities on like a 3rd and 2, 3, 4, a couple 3rd and longs to just make one play, whether it me give them a better play call or our guys to make a throw and a catch, and we didn't get it done. And so we were never able to get any kind of drive, any kind of tempo to get into all those other sets. Yeah, there was a couple. There was a 3rd and 2, a 3rd and 3, a 3rd and 3 that, again, that just kind of goes back to, probably should have ran the football. We were running it good enough for 3rd and 2 to 3 to say we have a pretty good chance of getting it. With the exception of one call, we had a chance to pick all those other ones up. I definitely put them in a bind on one. We dropped the ball here or there. We missed a throw here or there. But, going back, our O-line is healthy. I don't know if it was just the flow of the game and the field, but I would definitely do it over again. We'd run the ball a little bit more in those scenarios.
In a perfect world, are you probably sitting carry on right now, letting him get that angle back to 100%? Because it seems like every week it's the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't do a whole lot last week now. I mean, that was the plan, was to get guys like him and Sean to the game. Sean was out there. He was able to take a lot of mental reps, but he didn't throw any balls last week either. That's 2 straight weeks he didn't throw any balls in practice to receivers. And just trying to get him as healthy to the game. Same thing with carry on. At this point, we know what he can do. I thought both those guys gave great, gutty, tough efforts. I mean, you can tell how bad they want to win for their teammates, for Auburn. And so, I think you got to give them a lot of respect for the way they performed and considering the circumstances. But, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Game week comes each week. So we can only get him as healthy as we can at this point.
It looked like there were several times you had plays blocked pretty well, accelerate? Did you ever think about playing Cam Martin or even Rudy Ford?
Well, you know, we had Stanton was going to be a big part of the game plan. He got hurt early, and that hurt us. And then obviously, yeah, Cam, Rudy's playing defense, so that wasn't an option. You know, that's something that I know Coach will probably think about and look at. But so we went into the game knowing that we had KJ, we had Stanton, we had Cam, and then we had Chandler Cox available too, and he ran the ball, you know, out of the Wildcat a little bit. But you know, it just kind of goes back to you're gonna in a tough game like that. We weren't at our best. We obviously weren't playing our best. You just got to find a way to grind it out. Carry-on was still being productive, and we weren't having the explosive runs we'd like, but we were being productive. We were getting the ball on the perimeter some. But it just all goes back to, you know, we were in okay shape. We played an okay first half. We weren't great, but we moved the ball. We had a good touchdown drive. We only had the 4 chances. We were backed up a little bit. We weren't world beaters by any means, but we were okay. And we start the second half, and we have 2 critical errors. We turn the ball over, and we tie the game up. We give them momentum. Our defense is playing great. And at that point, though, we're still tied. And it just goes back to I've got to do a better job of with our group, with our offense, of calming everybody down and getting them in better plays so we can overcome that. And I didn't do that last night. Yeah, I mean, it was the second drive, I believe, he got hurt, and he tried to come back in. He actually carried the ball once or twice, and it just stiffened up as the game went on. So he's okay today. It's not a long-term critical thing. We don't think. We're optimistic, but we're less than 24 hours out right now, so probably gonna have to give some days for swelling to go down and see just exactly where his status is.
How about Chandler?
Chandler's same thing. Again, I don't think anybody is. It's critical. I mean, we got a chance. We're optimistic with all those guys. It's just going to take 24, 48 hours to just see how swelling goes, how guys kind of, everybody heals differently. So we're optimistic, but we'll probably won't know more till Tuesday or Wednesday. We can get out on the field and move around and see really what their status is.
Rhett, if you don't start Sean against Alabama, who would you start?
I don't know. Both John and Jeremy did a good job last week preparing. And got confidence in both of them. Obviously, I know Sean, he's going to live in the training room and do everything he can to be ready to go too. So it's Sunday night, and that's just not really where we are right now.
Is there any scenario where Woody plays?
No, Woody's redshirting. Woody's a great kid, and his tweet was regards to next year. And sometimes people don't understand how things are portrayed. So there was nothing to that.
Is there any possibility that Sean might need surgery after
No.
the season?
No, right now, no, and he's in good shape. And so, again, I just think it's kind of like going into that Vanderbilt game. We tried to take some things off of him knowing he could play, but we were trying to help him not have to. We felt like we needed him at halftime. He came in and gave a gutsy effort, and we got the win. We felt like if we could rest him till game time, give him the best chance to win, he gives us the best chance to win, give him the best chance to be healthy. And, again, I think he deserves a lot of credit for how hard he fought and how gutsy he played last night. Well, I'm sure they believe in themselves and their competitors. That's a good thing. But they also support Sean, just like he would support them. And, again, when we started the game, there was no reason for us to believe that Sean wasn't healthy enough to win the game for us. And to be honest with you, I know he got hit early in the game, and the kind of kid he is, he was going to fight tooth and nail. And so there was really no indication at that point that there was a reason to take him out for injury. So we can keep going around and around with that. There was no reason to take him out. I think for whatever reason, people are trying to put a lot more on him than's fair.
You had a lot of, or a good many drops back in the last night. How big a part is that?
It's huge. I mean, it goes back to we're all in it together. We all have a part in this, and we perform very poorly. And it's unfortunate because the last 6 weeks we've done a lot of good things. And you can win 6 out of 7, but right now we're sitting here feeling as bad as we've ever felt. This is probably the toughest loss I've been a part of, just about. Just because when you know you have a game that even though you're not at your best, you should find a way to grind it out and win, whether it's ugly or not, who cares? And your defense plays the way they did, and we give up a touchdown, and then I never do enough to help our guys in the second half overcome the obstacles we had in front of us. It's tough. And then it goes back to we also didn't make any plays. So You know, there were 6 opportunities, I think, on third downs after that first drive to just one guy make one play, and it could change everything. It was 7-7. It was 10-7 forever. We get one first down, we're going to get rolling. We're very confident in that. We never did it, and so we all sharing it. Again, we performed poorly, and it's very disappointing.
Rhett, you mentioned Cam Martin. Is this a week where you have to get him more prepared to be ready to go Saturday in case you have to give him a heavier load?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it'll be all hands on deck.
Is there anybody else that can run the ball or Cam?
Well, other than Cam Martin,
Yeah, I mean,
you know, I think Malik Miller's getting healthier, so that's a possibility maybe. We'll see where Stanton and Chandler are at this point. You know, I don't think KJ's necessarily any worse. You know, will he be 100%? Probably not. And then we'll just see where Cam's at as far as that goes too. But at this point, it's week to week, it's day to day, just knowing who we have. But whoever we have, I know they're going to go out there and play hard.
What's Malik been able to do in the last week or so?
Well, he's been doing, you know, just his typical rehab to get to the point where he's now ready to maybe potentially have a chance to help us again.
Because he could be redshirted, can he not?
He could appeal for one. So it's possible, but he did play earlier than the year, so he's got some game experience. So that's something we'll discuss, you know, tonight and tomorrow, and just kind of see where he is. And it may take us even to getting him on the field to seeing where he is, you know, making sure he's healthy enough to do it. But if he's cleared and healthy, then he would give us an opportunity to have some depth there.
Rhett, you mentioned the
Is it a fair assumption on that Cameron Beverly will be out this week?
You know, it's possible. I don't know. I mean, he hasn't been ruled out. We'll just have to see how he goes day to day. I do know he's making good strides, but I really don't know. Is it probably more likely that he is out? Yeah, but it's also not ruled out.
you mentioned the drops, and some of the veteran receivers have those drops. Is it time to give the true freshmen some more opportunity?
Yeah. You know, a lot of times you're in a road game in a hostile environment, a rivalry game, and you know seniors got to come up and make big plays for you. We didn't do that last night. So the best guys are going to be out there. It doesn't matter if it's a true freshman. We're going to try to get the guys out there that give us a chance to make the plays. Yeah.
Right, because this week is senior day on Saturday. I know this guy left that unfortunate stuff, but how would you look at Jeremy's career?
Well, it's not over yet, so we'll answer that when it's over.
Is there any, because he played early in the season in the opener and the special teams, I guess, in Mississippi State, so is there any possibility, barring something medically happening, to redshirt at this point?
I don't think so. I hadn't considered it, but I don't think so.
Anything else for Rhett? All right, Rhett, thanks.
All right.